Welcome to the Sales Acceleration Show. My name is Michael, and today we discuss how do you validate a new market every single quarter. There are three ways of doing it. One is you add focus. Two is you need to look into how you set up your team. And three is company culture. I've invited Aline from Citizenlab, who will take us through. Aline.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for inviting me. So I'm Aline, co-founder of Citizenlab, and at Citizenlab we build e-democracy software for cities and municipalities. We're now active in more than 30 municipalities in Belgium, Netherlands, and Denmark. So that's in
growing
short.
fast.
Voila.
Funding, running at
Indeed.
cruising speed. Perfect. So take us through the 3 points. Maybe we start with the team.
The team, yeah. So first of all, before you start, you don't have a big team. You're just two. You're two co-founders.
Doing everything.
Yeah. So when I started, I was doing the whole sales pipe from sales development over
Marketing
closing
also?
deals. Marketing a bit as well, and then you have your first deal, and then you do customer success, customer support. So in the beginning, you really do everything. And then when you realize that you want to grow into other markets, for instance, Flanders was our first market, Wallonia was our second market. We actually worked with interns that validated this market during a few months. And so they actually looked for us, they did some market research, and they saw, okay, there are opportunities. And then after you know this market is an opportunity, then you can really hire people in order that you can specialize your sales team.
When you hire, you try to specialize. So what do? You'll go inside sales. How do you do that?
So currently we have actually people focusing on SDR, sales development, creating leads.
That's inside sales actually.
That's inside sales.
Calling, mailing.
Voila. Then we have the real sales, seeing the clients, or let's say the closing the deals, and already there we split it up.
It's actually, you could say, the closing and the relationship, physically being present, building a relationship.
Indeed. So that part, we've also split it up in markets, because Europe, different languages. So I'm doing the Dutch-speaking market. We have someone for the French-speaking market. And now we also have two people working on customer success. Again, one for every language.
So let's go back to focus. Second point.
Focus,
how did you how did you do that? How did you implement it? Where were you looking? And
so before we enter a specific market, we really focus on one customer type, being cities and municipalities. So you have different markets there, different languages, but then we also segment in terms of number of inhabitants, and we really have different customer segments there.
And you do it number of inhabitants, language, and some others, and then you keep it strict.
Actually, we try to not make it too complex in the beginning. One market, one language, and then different. We have like 3 segments based on the number of inhabitants.
And then let's get to point 3, company culture. Because you need the people to perform and execute.
So if you want to enter a new market every quarter, what you need is speed. So you need to convince...
Speed and nomination.
Voila. You need to convince your team members that speed is important, that speed is really why the company is existing. And we at Citizenlab, we want to be, or we are a European market player. But so you need to convince your team members that that is super important, that you cannot keep doing your business the way it is right now, but that there's a growth.
So the classic paradigm, speed is more important than perfection.
Voila.
Perfect.
Yeah,
okay. Absolutely. So, Aline, we talked about the 3 points. What's the result now? What's the effect? What's been happening in the last 6 months?
So, we started in 1 market, and now we're active in 6 markets.
That's going really fast.
Belgium, Netherlands, Denmark, France, Germany.
The big ones.
So, we validated that point. We are also active now in more than 30 cities over these markets.
So, Aline, what about the team? How has that been growing?
So we started with 2 people, and now we are a team of 15 people, where 4 to 5 people are focusing purely on the sales funnel.
And you're looking for more?
We're definitely looking for more, since I said that specialization is important. So we're looking for people that can help us with sales development and with customer success. Okay.
What's the next big thing?
The next big thing is entering new markets, of course.
Scaling international markets, languages. Voilà. So we should re-invite you in 6 months and see how we're going in.
And then I can share my 3 points again.
Perfect. Aline, when you look at a new market, what's the first thing you would do? So you have your sales team, you're looking, you have your software, you want to attack it. What do you do? How do you start with it?
So first of all, market research, but then if you really dive in, I think the first important thing is getting a first customer there and then really using that
Do you buy it? I mean, a lot of strategies, people basically buy their first customer by giving things for free or because you want a logo.
Yeah.
You want to say, I've conquered the biggest door.
I would never give something away for free.
I like it.
Yeah, you can.
Free has no value.
Voila. You always want a partnership with the city, so that's what we make clear to them. Like, we want to learn from you. We don't give discounts on our license price, but we will, offer other services.
So you're going to protect the recurring and try and do things with services.
Yeah.
That would be the advice to
indeed.
do. Because
help them implementing.
Because recurring has most value. Always.
In the long term, indeed.
In the long term.
It's what you need to protect.
Okay.
So, thanks Michael for having us, and thank you for watching. If you want to enter a new market every quarter, there are actually 3 things to do, or 3 things we have done. One is keeping your focus on a customer success, specializing your sales team, and then building a company culture that's focused on speed.
Perfect, thanks. Thanks for watching the Sales Acceleration Show. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to know more, subscribe, because there will be a lot more content coming your way. Thanks, Aline.
Thank you.